realize what our real self is, it's usually with our it's usually from the people around us, because the people around us are able to see how we are and how we function. And because my idea of being a leader was so limited at that point, I never really took criticism from others or like feedback from others, because I felt that I was the one in charge. Like, what is the need to listen to others' feedback? Like, that really doesn't matter. So at this point, I really started to engage with the feedback people were giving me, and started to do a little bit more reflection to understand my real self. And this was mostly done through college. So I did my undergrad in Christ as well. So I was really fortunate to meet people from, like, I think, different walks of life, and people who have people who really function, people who really look at the world very differently, people who approach situations very differently, and people with different goals and drives. And this again, like, really opened my, I mean, this really changed my perspective, and again made me further explore my real self. And more importantly, it was able to shape an ideal self that was more realistic and more in line with who I am, and not not the characteristics which I thought that a leader is supposed to have. And this was and through my course, I was also able to work and intern a lot of organizations, which also really helped with this process. And there was this one incident which I had already shared with my fellow panelists during our meetings. So I felt that this was something that really, I don't know why, it was a really small incident, but it really stuck with me. So basically, I worked with an organization that works with children with special needs, and I was working with the occupational therapist. And the task for the day for the child was basically he had to button and unbutton a shirt. And I don't know why that really changed a lot of things for me, because on a daily basis we go, buttoning and unbuttoning a shirt doesn't seem like a task we really think about and do. It's something that occurs that comes really naturally to us. It's not something that really requires effort, but in reality it requires a lot of hand-eye coordination, which doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. So at that point, I don't know why, it really stuck with me, that incident, and it made me really recognize the privilege and abilities that I have, and it made me appreciate the characteristics of my real self. And it also made me realize that as an ideal leader, one characteristic that I want is accommodation. I would want to be, for me, an effective and ideal leader is someone who, at that point, made me realize it's someone who understands that not everyone's at the same level. And you are not, as a leader, you're also not at the same level as your members, and not all the members are at the same level. So an ideal leader is someone who accommodates these differences and realizes that everyone has something to offer. Maybe even if it's something that you may not have come across or you may not really understand, but the whole point of being an effective leader is attempting to accommodate these differences. And also an important quality that I realized I would want for myself as an ideal leader is being empathetic, and understanding that probably not everyone, as I said, is not at the same position, and not everyone has the same understanding of situations and events as you. So I think this is how, I mean, I wouldn't say my journey as a leader is complete. It's still something that I'm growing and learning. I've definitely not reached my ideal self as a leader, but it's something I'm still shaping. But I feel like it's something, but I feel like right now, currently, it's more aligned with who I discovered, who I truly am. And I think even PG mentoring sessions have really helped with this, because at no point were we told at no point were we told that, okay, these are the characteristics that we need to have, now let's all gain it. All of us were always sharing our point of view of leadership, and we were all trying to build on it. So I think in that way it was really effective, and it was really helpful for me. And it also further helped us understand that a person may be born with characteristics that helps them be assertive, or help them lead, help them take charge. But clearly it takes so much more to become a leader than just having those natural characteristics. Like, it takes so much, there's so much self-reflection and growing and accommodation that involves in being a leader. So this is my perspective and my personal journey. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Dia, for sharing your experience. And you have rightly pointed out that leaders are, made and not born. And there are a number of leadership aspects that has to be learned, and it's a lifelong process, right? And so I have a quick activity for you guys. Just put out one leader that stands out in your mind. When you think of leadership or a great leader, it could be anybody. It could be your teacher at school, or it could be Winston Churchill, or anyone. Just put out one name when you think of a leader. Okay. Obama, Abdul Kalam, Satish Dhawan. Come on, guys, everyone. Just one quick name. What's that one person who flashes in front of your mind? Narendra Modi. Okay. And says my dad. That's a beautiful answer. Kobe Bryant, Ninja Hattori, Dhoni. Yeah, anybody who takes an initiative. That's a beautiful answer. Okay, so do you guys think that all these people who you have mentioned started out as leaders on the day one, like when they turned 20 or 25, they said, okay, from now on I'm going to be a leader, and they just started right away? No, right? So these people have worked in like in an immense amount of hard work has gone into making them who they are today. So, and also that I'm just making it a note that all of you guys are leaders because you led yourself into this webinar. So you guys are leaders as well, right? So now I call on Anne to share her journey.
So I'm going to talk about who a leader is first. Okay, a leader is someone who can see how things can be improved and who rallies people to do to move towards a better vision. Leader is someone who maximizes the efforts of others towards achieving a goal. That is who a leader is. But I had this idea of a leader once who when I added on more attributes. According to me, according to high school me, a leader could only be someone who grabbed everyone's attention in the room. Someone who had to be outspoken, who had to be eloquent, who had to be loud, extrovert, and confident in groups, in any situation. Basically, someone who was not me. So let me tell you a bit about myself. So high school version of me had a lot of opinions, ideas, but those were only meant for me to know, only meant for my friends to know maximum. And I wouldn't take initiative. If I had an idea, I wouldn't say it out because there had to be someone in the room who was better than me, or at least who could frame the idea better. Um, and although I was a good team player, I never volunteered for being a leader, taking up the position of a leader. And on a side note, I later figured out that you have to be a team player first to be an effective leader. And so once when I was preparing for these PKCL discussions, which we have on Tuesdays, I was looking back and I was trying to figure out what inspired me, what are the things that helped me figure out that I can be a leader. So there was this one teacher who I remember. She was quiet, she was calm, she was short, and she heard more than she spoke. Especially before making a decision, she would listen to everyone in the class and then make a decision. And if she didn't know something, she would ask, and she would admit it and ask others to help her. But on the other hand, she could lead projects, events, she could lead effectively. At the same time, she could make others feel valued and also help them grow. So she was a good leader who was like me, but she had a leadership style of her own. And this was a radical shift for me, that okay, so there's a person like me, a person with characteristics similar to me, but who is still a leader, who is still leading events, projects, and that could also be someone, that could also be me. So during my undergraduate program and from then on, I learned that I at least had the potential to be a leader. So even if I'm not a perfect leader right now, I do have the potential to be one. And to some extent, if I put myself in situations, I'm an effective one as well. So what I want to tell you today is, if you give yourself the chance, you have good qualities, you have good ideas to offer in any team, in any class, in any organization that you're ever part of. So my suggestion is to give yourself the benefit of doubt and grab every opportunity that comes your way. Don't think twice, like the game. Don't think twice before, um, you know, giving yourself the opportunity to lead, to do things. And in the end, leading yourself and leading others is a choice. It's not about if you're born with it It's your choice. So utilize your freedom of choice to lead yourself and others better. This is all I had to say. So over to.
Thank you, Anne, for that wonderful journey. And so we usually tend to associate a set of skills, right, with leadership, be it good communication skills, like an extrovert, an outgoing person, or some may even think like being bossy is a trait of leadership. But you like showed that all these skills can be developed as well, and you don't have to exactly have these set of skills. It's a myth that extroverts are the only good leaders. You proved that, and thank you so much for sharing, Anne. So I now call upon Tulsi to share her experience.
Hello, everyone. Good evening again. So, I'll just start off by saying that everyone's journey is different and unique in some or the other way, and everyone will have some major touch points in their life or um, experiences that kind of molds them into something, which kind of guides them, which kind of provides a space for reflection for them. So for me, my journey, my experiences were my major touch points, and the majority of them I had was throughout my undergraduate. So I'll like I don't know if most of you are from Christ undergraduate as well. So I did my undergraduate in Christ as well. And like we all know, Christ University offers a lot of experiences, a lot of opportunities for everyone right from the beginning. So when I joined, the first thing, I was overwhelmed with opportunities, and I ended up enrolling in every possible opportunity that I could get. I was trying out. I was trying out for choir. I was trying out for football. I was trying out for NCC. I was trying out for everything. So because of all these I was trying out for CSA also. Uh, and then I ended up engaging in football, choir, and NCC. All of them were a great experience. I learned from all these experiences that I work well as a team player. I work well with coordinating and organizing. And there was this one specific tournament we had during our football tournament. So that was held in Chennai, and for some reason our coach was not able to come there and manage us. And I don't know what came over me, or it was just my observation, or it was something that I related very strongly with my team, that I ended up taking that responsibility, taking up that initiative to have that coordination and communication with the coach, the team. And as a goalkeeper for the team, it makes very essential to understand not only strategy but to understand every player's capacities. So I think both on and off field. So I think that was really kind of, what do I say, intriguing for me. And that tournament made me realize that there were certain characteristics in me that kind of makes me a leader, because uh, I was like an average student back in school. Okay, nothing like prefect, or the max I would go was to class monitoring. So I was like, I never saw myself as a leader. But when I was studying psychology and when I had these experiences, I kind of realized that not all leadership styles are same. And that is when I started looking for more studies regarding that. And that is when I realized I am more of a relator. So a relator leadership style is something where you kind of empathize with people, you have strong close relationships with your team members or with your group members. And that was something that influenced me, and that is one of the major capacities that I realized. And I started choosing to work accordingly. So, and once I joined my master's program in Christ again, I am from MPHR, so a full blown professional course. Okay, so you have to be ready for the corporate world. All the faculty members will prepare you to prepare you and guide you academically. But there was something I missed, having that experience. So I was engaging in max peer counseling, and I joined that again because I realized I connect well with people. I connect well one on one, and something well while connecting, getting to know people's different perspectives kind of helped me in understanding many varied views that exist. And kind of it kind of becomes a relationship that you develop with someone. Even when you see someone in the corridor passing by, even if you just greet them, that's just like taking that initiative to greet them. It makes an impact. Like, sometimes when that person doesn't greet you, you may notice that. So those are like small initiatives that kind of, those are certain observations that I came about throughout time. So I just wanted to say towards the end that for me, the only source of knowledge is experience, like Albert Einstein said. And I think everyone should have this, if not curiosity, just go for experimenting, go for trying it out, just go for try it. It's okay. I had no idea I'll, get selected for NCC, but I did. So it's just that go try out. You never know where you may end up. So trying out, and it will help you discover your own self in a very different way. I can literally look myself back past 2 years, and I am not the same person. So with PG mentoring, it kind of helped me reflect more on these capabilities. And for our last semester, we have block internships. So block internships, college placements, looking out for interviews, everything. So what happens is, when you have these interactions with different people, when you have weekly sync up with different people with different ideologies, with different brains, so you kind of get to understand other people. You kind of get a more perspective. You get more strength on adding on to your own points. And these helped me in reflecting myself, which kind of helped me in acing my interviews at college placements. So like, like even like just identifying your strengths and weaknesses is a really good help. And even after that, work from home internships are difficult because you are with a completely different set of people. But PG mentoring had me prepped up for all that. Opening up, having that trust, taking that initiative to build up the conversation is something which is very excellent. And I think I was not very comfortable. Honestly, if you ask all of my team members, in the beginning, I might not be that. But then they kind of, it kind of nudges you to make that communication going, taking up that initiative, trusting, having that safe space. So all I want to end up by saying is experiment, try out, because you never know, you will discover yourselves with different capabilities and strengths that you already have, but you may not have gotten a chance to explore it yet. So just keep exploring. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tulsi. That was indeed a great experiential talk. While not all leaders will develop their talents and abilities to the same level, all successful leaders are more or less begin with the same foundation. Here is the thing: the most foundational elements of leadership requires no skill or talents whatsoever. We heard what Tulsi said, to sharing our experience and competency and the relationship of exploring and discovering each and every day. That's it. Thanks a lot, Tulsi. Next, I would like to call Sabine to share his experience and his talk.
Good evening, all. Hearing all your nice stories, I really forgot what I wanted to tell. I am Sabine Joy. I am doing my final year of MBA Leadership and Management program, and I came to this group PKCL through a webinar like this. In my lockdown days, I got some time extra. Then I just clicked for that webinar, and I don't know what was it, but the term attracted me was the leadership, and I just joined, and now became a part of that. And now I am here to speak with you. And this is PG Mentoring Hub, and I think this is a byproduct of PKCL, and I can proudly tell that I'm also a co-founder of this PG Mentoring Hub, along with Rashimam and Samsar, and all these speakers and moderators here are they are also co-founders. So we are really ideating and making this new venture. So thanks Christ University and thanks PKCL for giving this wonderful opportunity. And I will start my experience with the one theory of Edmund Husserl. He's a philosopher. Don't get bored. The theory is that it is just, he speaks about phenomenology. It is a concept. We have to go into the essence. If you want to understand the essence of a theory or concept or any person, let it be anything. He speaks about theory. But for example, I will tell about a person. See, or suppose you are seeing a beggar. When we see a beggar, we may think that he's not beautiful, he's not, he has no good position, no status, he's ugly, and we may think that. But the inner self, he may be a good person, not judge him. We may see a well-dressed man, but we may think that he's good, he has money, everything, but in the inner self he may not be a good person. We cannot judge by the outer layer. That is the thing. If you want to understand the essence of a thing, to bracket out all the non-essential part. If we are bracketing out the non-essential things, we can find out the essence of that thing. Or otherwise, if you want to understand a fruit, whether it is good or bad, we have to peel out the outer layer. We have to go to the inner part of it. Then only we can understand. We have to taste it. So going into the essence, that is the theory of Edmund Husserl. So take the leadership also. If you want to understand the real essence of leadership, we have to bracket out all the non-essentials. As my previous speaker said, we may relate our leadership concept with or status, authority, position, or skills, or communication, or extrovertness, or all this may be a part of leadership, but we cannot tell that this is leadership. So we have to find out the essence of the leadership. If we find out the essence, we will also try to believe that I also can become leader. I also thought that I cannot become leader. I have become a class reps or some from the school days onwards. I have become so many times leader, means class leader or something. But I have never thought I am a leader. But because our concept is that leader is something great. Leader is something beyond all the capabilities and everything. It is not on my cup of tea. But when I come to this group, PKCL or PG Mentoring Hub, I got so many, I unlearned many myths about the leader. For example, I also had that concept. I had related or I had associated leadership concept with many things. But when I interacted with my fellow members, I could understand that there is another kind, or we can understand the leadership, or I also can become a leader. I am also slowly convincing myself that I can become a leader. I am not perfect, but when I entered this group, when I came with the interaction with other people, there is a unlearning happening in me. So this is when one of the essential thing I understood is that I have to accept myself, whatever I am. I have to accept myself, whatever I am. If I am showing another face of if I am showing multiple faces before us, I think I cannot grow. If I want to allow myself to grow, I have to accept myself, whatever I am. So I think that is one of the essential thing I have. When I moved out the non-essential part, I could understand this essential. One of the essential part, I can say that I have to accept myself, whatever I am. Then I can allow myself to grow. That is one of the finding I have here in this group. So I heard when I 2-3 months, I got a trusted group. I felt that it is a trusted group. I can tell everything. So when I got that trust, I shared my story. They listened to me. They commented on my life, and I listened their stories. And I also suggested a few things to them. And we are mutually learning, mutually unlearning. So many things are happening here. So there is a supportive group here for me. So that is the best thing I have now here in Christ University. Also, I can relate with many people with different from different departments, from different ideologies, and from different concept and everything. So this is one of the essential thoughts I got from this group. So this is only my point. I may not be a world famous leader, but I can be a leader for many people. I can at least influence many people. For example, I think my parents are my leaders because they have influenced me, they have guided me, controlled me, and they have helped me to reach here. But before that, I didn't think that they are my leaders. So leadership concept is very different when we understand the real essence of leader. So I will conclude with this. So accepting myself is one of the key points towards leadership. So if I accept myself, I can allow myself to grow. If I allow myself to grow, I can move out the hindrances or the blocks before me. So then there will be a path before me to reach the leadership. As we know, to reach same destination, there can be different ways. For example, in Christ University, we can come through different ways, through main gate, back gate, from Dharmara, or by car, by bus. There are so many ways and so many different uh, uh, modes to reach there. Likewise, if we accept myself, if I allow myself to grow, then I will find out one of the way which is suitable for me to reach a leader in me. So that's my finding from these days. So I wish all the best. So I think there are many ways to be a leader, but the speaker, CL, PG mentor may help or to find out one of the way, or one way suitable, which suits for you. So that's my thought. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sabin, for sharing your experience. It's indeed a very point which I've noted on the one which you have said. The single most powerful way to grow as a leader is becoming truly self-aware. And these are the lots of leaders who are way too focused on themselves, their evolution, their drama, etc., can be seen in each and every day. Okay, becoming truly self-aware means to cultivate on the daily basis an accurate sense of how you show up in the world and what motivates you is a very important thing which we all have to take. Thanks a lot for sharing that words to us, Sebin. Guys, it was not boring to you all. We have a small activity, not an activity as such. I'll be sharing a stereo.com website or link. I'll share it in the chat box. You all can go to that particular platform and give your words. There's a simple question over there. It's not a very difficult question. It's just to know about what's your thought about the leadership, like single most important leadership skill which you would be taking on from this particular platform, the panelists what they have spoken for so long. Do we just want to know your thoughts on this particular words? I'll be presenting my screen to show your data also. I've given the link to you. This is the code. I've sent the code also. So you need to enter this particular code. Yes, few people say it's responsibility, it's communication. We can see supportive, a learning attitude, being accountability, selflessness, the integrity what each and every members carry, the empathy, the confidence in showing in front of each others, perseverance to learn each and everything and to never give up. Okay, that's a lot. That's a great, guys. And I can assure you 100% that all these things are being practiced and being learned by each and every member in the PG Mentoring Leadership Program. And it's not just we people, and it's just that all the leaders will have this particular qualities or the skills in their life. Yes, I can see more answers. The one is the responsibilities. Most of you have given that all leaders are more responsible, and that's when they become a leader. The responsibility is one, being supportive. Our communication is also very important. Wow, that's so nice to listen from each and everyone over here. If anyone is still left, you all can give your answers. Okay. Okay. Responsibility has taken the major portion from each and every person. Let's move on to our next plan. Thanks all for sharing that one. Now we are open for question and answer session. Anyone has any other questions to ask the panels with regards to whether leaders are born or made or to the context which they have spoken? You all are free to speak upon that. You can ask question, you can share your thoughts, and the platform is all of you. It's for all. Yes, you can use a chat box if you're not able to unmute. Please use the chat box and we'll ask the question for the panelists.
So till a question comes up, I have one question to ask all our panelists out here. So usually, words like motivation, enthusiasm, passion, and drive is associated with a leader. And we all know what motivation is, right? It's a high tide, and it is never going to be constant in our lives. So we have ups and downs. And usually in a team settings, what happens is that a leader is seen as a source of inspiration and motivation. So how do you deal with such a situation if it ever comes up? Anybody is free to answer this. And our participants can answer.
I can go first. So the answer is, one of the answers is actually PKCL, in the sense that people, when you don't have motivation, being surrounded by people who do have the motivation, or being in a group, so just not being on your own, which is what COVID is enforcing us to do, but instead gathering in groups of any sort. It can be friends, teachers, any sort of people around you motivates me anyway.
Oh, can I give a shot in that? Yeah. I personally feel that, yeah, uh, a leader is someone who knows his strength and weakness, is what I feel. So if the leader himself is not sure of what he is doing, it is better to ask for help. Like sometimes it is better to leave your guard, like I'm the strongest or something like that, and ask for help. That also shows the leadership skill in him. Like people will also look up to you and say, yeah, this person has also have some weakness, and we can help them out. So that's when team plays a role.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, we have one question here. Interesting. If we have a tendency to withdraw ourselves from people when we experience low motivation. Any panelists want to answer that question?
I'll go ahead. So I do personally relate to that. Okay. Sometimes it so happens that if I'm having a rough day, I'll tend to withdraw all my interactions with my even my friends sometimes, because you don't want your that maybe it's just that vibe or something, towards them. So what I think one should do is, just basically take your space, take your time, if there is a troubling situation over your head, just give it time, evaluate, or else just space out for a while, but make sure you inform others, because it shouldn't be that someone is left on a loose thread. Just take your time, but just we have to make sure that the other person knows what we are going through. But I prefer, it's always best we share it with someone, because most of the times when you keep it inside, sometimes we do withdraw, but then there is no resolution of those situations or those troubles or issues that we have. But once when we talk, even if the person is not helping, but just by someone listening to us, it kind of gives you more clarity as to what is happening, what exactly caused some drain in my energy, or you can get that better, I would say. Like always, like just chatting up with a friend for a while, or even just watching a movie for a while, which kind of listening to songs that upbeats you. So just taking your space out, but making sure the people close to you are informed, so that in case if there's something, there may be times when you just do, it takes more than like it takes more than few hours, okay, sometimes, to cope up with that situation. So just giving yourself time, but understanding that people around you are also concerned for you, are caring for you, and we just need to be grateful for the people around, because they kind of act as a source for your motivation most of the time. For me, at least, it works that way. People around me are like my source of inspiration. Like take the PG team, all that motivation comes from them. So yeah, I hope I've answered your question, but if anyone else wants to add on.
Okay, thanks Tulsi for answering that question. Next we have Samsung.
Yes, Yogesh,
Yes, sir. So you can take on.
close. Okay. I just wanted to, two questions that kind of came through my mind even as you were talking. Motivation, I just want to mention a point, especially depending on the type of your personality, how would you define an extrovert and introvert? Most of us define it by um, how loud a person is and how soft a person is, if you will. But really, being extroverted is where you draw your energy from. And some people, I know my colleague that I used to work with, I used to be a leader in a team, and I'm introverted, honestly. You won't believe that that's true. So I draw my energy from quiet spaces, listening to my own music, reading a book. But my colleague who used to work under me, um, at IGM, she was a real butterfly. I mean, she would be there. If she felt down and less motivated, you put her in a group, she's ready to roll again. And I realized I went for this leadership conference in Thailand as part of my NGO, and I realized, wow, I have a diamond in my team that I'm not using. I'm an introvert. And I called Nina into this conversation, and she would just light up the group. And so, you guys, I'm just complimenting what you guys are saying, how we need each other to keep ourselves motivated. As an introvert, I could feel so demotivated. The thing that motivated me was vision, but I also needed quiet spaces to draw my energy. And I realized, wow, it's so good to have different kinds of people in the team. And so, with that said, I really want to thank our panelists here. I mean, they've just brought these thoughts very good. Um, you know, uh, I remember Dia started off with ideal self and real self, and so important about self awareness. And then Anne talked about the value of having role model influence in your life and how the teacher was a huge role model for her, even though she was quiet. And Tulsi beautifully talked about uh, identifying strengths and weaknesses and how she identified her strength as a relator, and she was able to leverage that and work that through an NCC or and whatever she did, her sports that she talked about, both when she was in the team and even when she was not in the team, that kind of thing, and how to experiment and throw yourself out there. And then Sebin just brought it all together by saying, know what is the essential and what is non-essential, you know, and get rid of some of those things, and I find again, and his own journey. So it's really been a blessing to hear from each of you, and I've learned as well. And so I really kind of, I think one of the things that I realized about how true this is, and the more I think about it, leadership is really everybody's business. We all have a role to play, a part to play. We may not have positions because positions can only go to few people. Not everybody can become a VC, right? Or not everybody can become a leadership role. But all of us have leadership influence, and that's what we want to make sure we inculcate. And so thank you so much, panelists and everybody, for driving that point home today, in very simple ways. And it was not head knowledge. You were talking from your experience, and nobody can dispute that. And so thank you. I'll just bring it all together. Over to you, Yogesh.
Thank you, sir.
I just want to bring Rashi, if Rashi wants to add anything as well. Rashi?
Yeah, Sam, thank you. Um, so I just was very, excited to listen to our panelists today because, every time I listen to them, I learn something from them as a mentor. So I have learned few things, and Sam has beautifully summarized that, learnings, which hats off for that. And I really want to see you guys, all the people who have come here, taken the time out. We really are humbled enough to, thank you, because you all have given us this time to listen and to understand what exactly Praveen Kenneth Chair of Leadership is. Hoping to see you all for coming meetings, and you guys will be the panelists very soon. So that is what we vision, and yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, guys.
We can ask Suntex for some feedback. Sir, can you provide us some feedback?
Yeah, I'm very happy that um in this team, and then I really enjoy your talks. And basically, being from a psychology department, yeah, I believe, and then I have a faith in all of you, the way how you speak and the way how you talk and the way how you comes to your conclusion. I really, it really encouraged me, and then I really have a faith in you that you will go on with your leadership skill. And then I really appreciate the times that I have with you, or it's a very quality times. And then I would like to go on with this team for your qualitative sharing, and then all your thoughts, the quality within you. I would like to explore more on it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, very good evening to all. As the American author John C. Maxwell said, leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It is about one life influencing another. And the panelist of today's session personifies that satisfaction completely. There is no doubt that their talk has sparked the joy of curiosity and the essence of leadership in all of us today. I, Aman Sharma, on behalf of the management, foremostly thank the PG mentors, Ms. Dia Chako, Ms. Tulshi Sa, Ms. Anne Suzanne, Mr. Sabin Joy for sharing their experiences with us. I take this occurrence to thank the entire committee as well as the audience for representing their valuable views. I must remark a proficient sense of gratefulness to all the panelists for sharing with us some of the finest leadership practices. I would like to thank the management of Christ Deemed to be University for their support to the students in these truly difficult times. We have been fortunate to be assisted by a chief mentor, Dr. Tony Sam George, in absentia, for his constant support and being the positive source at all times. I extend my deepest gratitude to Dr. George E.P. Kurian, the core team mentor of our leadership chair, who has graced us with his presence today. I would like to extend my gratitude to our program manager and trainer, Mr. Samuel George, for being a beacon of encouragement to all the students. And I also thank Mr. Ranjiv in absentia, the external mentor at PKCL, for guiding us and motivating us throughout, for being a better person every day, in fact. I would again thank Ms. Rashi Ruther Kumar, a mentor and trainer at PKCL, for always being available for us with her valuable thoughts and organizing this event. I thank both the moderators, Ms. Nisita and Mr. Yogesh, for making this event more interactive and fun-filled. Thank you, guys. And I extend my generous thanks to Dr. Shantak, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology, for being part of our show and enriching it by valuable feedback. And to my beloved peers, thank you for your patient attention.